And the streets of Austin are looking a lot different today than they did over the weekend. Thousands of people marched to protest the deaths of George Floyd and Austin native Mike Ramos at the hands of police officers. Fox 7 Austin's Casey Bowen joins us live from APD headquarters. And Casey, you've been following these protests since day one.
Yeah, good evening. We've been, like you said, following these protests. Yesterday, my photographer and I walked nearly 6 miles as we walked alongside protesters as they first started at the Capitol. Then they moved to City Hall. Then they moved back to the Capitol. Then they ended up here at APD headquarters. Then they eventually moved back to the Capitol where they were kind of in the mid to evening and at night. And for the most part throughout the day, the protests were seemingly peaceful, but at times police had to use non-lethal force, including tear gas. As crowds gathered for the second day in a row, protesters wanted their voices to be heard.
I don't want fighting, I don't want shooting, I don't want rioting, I just want peace. I want love, and that's the greatest thing.
What started Saturday afternoon at APD headquarters escalated into the night.
If the police actually do their job like they're supposed to do, none of this, we would not be out here protesting.
Cars set on fire, fireworks set off, and altercations between police and protesters were just a glimpse into the night. Sunday morning, graffiti showed the remains of the night before, but thousands still flooded to the Capitol. The Austin Justice Coalition canceled their official protest, saying safety is their main concern, and they couldn't send people out in the current climate.
I do stand by that decision. There's no way that we could have our name attached to something that could potentially put people in harm's way. I just think that would have been an irresponsible thing for us as an organization to do.
But throughout the morning, things remained seemingly peaceful. At one point, law enforcement gave up an intersection. Yeah, the police officers are backing up, allowing protesters to keep marching. This was met with cheers and applause from those in the crowd. Our streets! Our streets! But quickly after, protesters took over 35. Helicopters took to the sky, warning if they didn't vacate the interstate, tear gas may be deployed. And sure enough, it was. This was a turning point for protesters. Soon, reports began coming in of incidents of looting across different areas of town.
We have had, unfortunately, several businesses that have been broken into in one block of 6th Street. Many of the businesses had their windows shattered, and a few of them did actually have items stolen. Currently this evening, we've had reports of several businesses that have been burglarized, that have been broken into, even though they were secured.
Austin police is reporting that nearly 30 arrests have been made in regards to the protests, ranging from burglary, graffiti, participating in riots, and assault. And like we mentioned, there were reports of damages overnight and looting. We'll have more on that in a few minutes. But reporting live at APD headquarters, Casey Bowen, Fox 7 Austin News.
Thank you, Casey.